My family told everyone that I was only pretending to work in the medical field. At my sister's engagement party, Dad suddenly passed out, and until the ambulance arrived, I kept him alive. At the hospital, the medical director rushed toward me and said, "Dr. Carter, the trauma unit needs you." My mother went completely silent. She had introduced me to every guest as an unemployed nanny. When her lie was exposed, I smiled. At my sister's engagement party, my mother told everyone I was pretending to work in medicine. Then my father collapsed, his pulse stopped, and I kept him alive until the ambulance arrived. At the hospital, the medical director approached me and said, "Dr. Carter, the trauma unit needs you." I looked at my mother. She said nothing. "My name is Dr. Emily Carter. I'm 32 and work as a trauma surgeon at a major Cleveland hospital. My younger sister, Madison, was 29. She was our family's favorite and hated sharing attention. Her fiancé, Evan, came from a wealthy family. My mother, Diane, had always protected Madison. My father, Robert, was a 64-year-old retired accountant with a heart condition. My brother, Jason, was 35. Whenever Mom or Madison treated me badly, he always said, "Don't start a fight today." Madison's engagement party was held at an expensive country club in Lakewood. I arrived after finishing a 12-hour shift. Mom looked at my dress and frowned. "That's what you're wearing?" "Yes." "Don't start talking about medical things tonight." Why would I randomly discuss my job? "Don't try to impress Evan's family. Today belongs to Madison." I walked away. A few minutes later, Evan's mother, Patricia, approached me. "So, you're Emily. Diane said you take care of children." "No. I'm a trauma surgeon." Her smile faded. "Really?" Before I could respond, Mom interrupted. "Emily exaggerates. She occasionally helps at a hospital." "I'm a surgeon there." Mom grabbed my arm. "Not today." I pulled free. "Why are you lying about me?" Madison heard us and came over. "What's wrong?" "Mom is telling people I'm not a doctor." Madison shrugged. "So what?" "It's a lie. Not everything is about you. They're discussing my profession." She lowered her voice. "Evan's sister is a neurosurgeon. His family praises her constantly. I don't want everyone at my engagement party being impressed by you too. So you changed my career. Stay quiet for one evening." She walked away. I considered leaving, but Dad approached me. His face looked pale. "Are you okay?" "I'm just hungry." "Did you take your heart medication?" "Yes. Your mother gave it to me." His pulse was elevated. "Any chest pain?" "No, doctor. I'm fine." He called me doctor intentionally. When the party began, Madison and Evan stood before a flower wall. After the photographs, Mom picked up the microphone. "My daughters have always been different," she said. "Madison succeeded in the real world, while Emily is still finding herself." Several guests laughed. I looked at Jason. "Did you hear that?" He lowered his eyes. "Don't start a fight today." Mom continued. "Tonight, we're celebrating the daughter who has always made us proud." Everyone applauded. Dad rose from his chair, took one step, and grabbed his chest. His glass hit the floor. Then he collapsed. I ran to him. "Dad, can you hear me?" No response. His pulse was irregular, then disappeared. "Call 911. Now." Mom stood behind me. "Robert, get up." Everyone moved back. I began chest compressions. Evan looked around. "Is there a doctor here?" Without stopping, I said, "I'm a doctor." Madison raised her voice. "Find a real doctor." I looked up. "If you can't help, get out of my way." The country club manager brought an automated defibrillator. I attached the pads to Dad's chest. The machine recommended a shock. Everyone stand back. The first shock failed. I immediately resumed compressions. Jason knelt beside me. "What should I do?" "Take over when I tell you. Keep the same rhythm." After the second shock, Dad took a breath. His pulse was weak, but it was back. The ambulance arrived 8 minutes later. One paramedic, Mark, recognized me from my hospital. "Dr. Carter, what happened?" I gave him a complete medical report. As he moved Dad onto a stretcher, he said, "You saved his life by starting CPR immediately." Every guest heard him. Patricia stared at Mom. Mom looked away. At the hospital, Dad was rushed into the cardiac unit. The medical director, Dr. Harris, approached me. "Dr. Carter, what happened?" "My father went into cardiac arrest." He checked the chart. "I'm sorry. 4 patients are also arriving from a highway collision. If you can work after your father is stable, the trauma unit needs you." My family heard everything. Patricia turned toward Mom. "You told us she wasn't a doctor." Mom's face went pale. I looked at her and smiled. An hour later, the cardiologist entered the waiting room. "One of your father's arteries was blocked. We inserted a stent, and he's stable. The immediate CPR saved his life." Then his expression changed. However, he had more heart medication in his bloodstream than expected. Could he have taken an extra dose? I looked at Mom. "No," she said. "I gave him his normal medication." "How many pills?" I asked. "1." "Which medication?" She didn't answer. Madison stepped forward. "Emily, don't investigate Mom." Then Evan spoke. "There's something I don't understand." Madison looked at him. "What?" "You told me Emily never finished medical school. You said she tried working at a hospital with fake credentials." I stared at her. "You said that?" Patricia answered. "We were told you believed you were a doctor, but your family avoided the subject because of your mental health." That was the first twist. Mom and Madison hadn't just hidden my career. They had convinced people I was mentally unstable. "Why?" I asked Madison. She folded her arms. "I didn't want Evan's family comparing me to you." "And Mom helped." Mom answered immediately. She said everyone would focus on you if they knew you were a surgeon. "Mom, be quiet," Madison snapped. Mom turned to me. "You're strong, Emily. You can handle it." Madison needed our support. "You made me look delusional to protect her feelings." We were protecting her engagement. I took out my phone. "Now you'll face the consequences." Evan said, "I'll send Emily every message." Madison grabbed his arm. "You won't." He pulled away. "You've lied to me for 8 months." During the next 3 days, I collected evidence. Jason showed me a family group chat that excluded me. Madison had written, "Don't tell Evan's mother Emily is a surgeon." Mom replied, "I'll say she temporarily worked at a hospital." Madison answered, "Tell them she was fired. If she calls herself a doctor, change the subject." Jason had read everything. "Why didn't you stop them?" I asked. "I didn't want to fight." "You didn't prevent anything. You silently let them attack me." I attached my medical license, board certification, hospital profile, and screenshots of their messages to an email. Then I sent it to every relative and guest from the party. I wrote, "My mother and sister knowingly spread false information about my career and mental health. This email is not an invitation to debate. It is intended only to correct the record." Evan ended the engagement that night. Madison called me. "You ruined my life." Evan took back the ring, and his father cancelled his company's contract with my business. "I only showed people your messages. You knew this would happen." "I knew the truth would come out. You've always been jealous of me." I laughed. "You called me a fake doctor because you were afraid someone might compliment me. Everyone knows who was jealous." I ended the call. But the second twist was still coming. When Dad was ready to leave the hospital, I found his attorney, Martin, inside his room. Martin placed bank statements before me. $140,000 had been withdrawn from Dad's retirement account. It had been spent on Madison's company, her credit cards, and the engagement party. "Did you know?" I asked Dad. "I approved $25,000. Your mother transferred the rest without permission." Martin added, "Your father confronted her 2 days before the party and demanded a full accounting." I remembered the extra medication. "Do you think Mom gave you too much deliberately?" Dad shook his head. "I won't accuse her without proof," but we filed a police report. Jason entered the room. I saw Mom giving Dad his pills before the party. She said he had missed his morning dose. Dad responded immediately. I had already taken it. Jason's face changed. I didn't know. You didn't ask, I said. He lowered his eyes. I stayed silent again. This time, his silence had almost cost Dad his life. The police obtained Dad's medical records, medication bottle, and bank statements. Mom claimed the extra dose was an accident and that Dad had approved every transfer. He denied both claims. When Madison learned her company would be investigated, she hired an attorney and claimed she didn't know where the money came from. Mom had destroyed my reputation to protect Madison. Madison abandoned Mom to protect herself. Dad filed for divorce, froze their joint accounts, and changed his will. The money already given to Madison was deducted from her inheritance. Everything remaining would be divided equally among his 3 children. I don't need more, I told him. I didn't give you more, Dad said. For the first time, I gave you an equal share. A financial fraud case was opened against Mom. The medication incident remained under investigation. Madison's wedding was cancelled. Months later, her event planning business closed. Mom and Madison still claim I destroyed our family. I didn't. I only removed the lie everyone was hiding behind. Last month, I became Associate Director of Trauma Services. Dad printed the hospital's announcement, framed it, and hung it in his new apartment. Underneath it, he wrote, "My daughter, Dr. Emily Carter." Mom never apologized. Neither did Madison. I no longer need their apologies. They spent years hiding my accomplishments. Then Dad collapsed in front of everyone, and keeping him alive became my responsibility. I saved his life. I took back my name. When my mother's lie collapsed in that hospital hallway, I smiled. Not because she had been humiliated. Because, for the first time, the truth didn't need my help.